In the last 11 years of Sir Alex Ferguson as United manager, he won the league title 7 times. It has been almost 11 years since his departure, during which they have not won the league once. In the past, if Manchester United did not win the league this season, we knew that they would win it next season. Nowadays, if United qualifies for the Champions League, people consider the coach a genius, even though they know that they may not qualify next season. Ambition has changed and evaluation has changed. What are the 5 biggest mistakes that led United to what they are now? The first mistake was the sacking of David Moyes. This coach came after 30 years of Ferguson's control of United, and he came to a club that did not have any clear strategy. Manchester United had all Sir Alex, so he came to a club that had become completely chaotic, but they did not have patience with him. So the fans demanded his sacking after the poor season he had, so they contracted with Louis van Gaal, and from that moment, Manchester United began to live a recurring phenomenon, bringing in a coach who succeeds one season and fails the next. So, when we go back, we discover that David Moyes was not supported by the best players, and the players he got served the club for the longest possible period, compared to the players brought by other coaches. So, perhaps the right decision was for Moyes to complete a second season, and during the 2 seasons arrange United to live in peace and quiet, and then bring in another coach. The decision to sacking Moyes was the beginning of the chaos, the beginning of sending a message to everyone that Manchester United is an impatient club, and that the club that was patient with Ferguson in the past will not be patient with anyone else. And when he decided to be patient with another coach, they were patient with Ten Hag, who he gave them every reason to be fired last season. And he brought them into this season in a very bad way. The second reason that made Manchester United fail without Ferguson is the environment that repelled stars. Big names came. Di Maria, Pogba, Ibrahimovic, Depay in his youth was a promising player for the jungle. Falcao, Mkhitaryan, and Sanchez, who exploded at Arsenal, Fran, Casemiro, and Schweinsteiger, but the environment at Manchester United was repellent to stars. Every star of these, when you hear the reasons for his inability to succeed at United, is surprised. How they allowed Van Gaal, Mourinho, and Ten Hag to do those actions with the players that killed their ambition. And the United environment forced the player who gives 10 out of 10 to give only 5 out of 10. And many of these, when they left to other teams, returned to the path of success. The lack of care to provide a healthy environment for the players and the lack of intervention in solving problems between players and coaches was a major reason for the failure that continued for many years. Just like a third important reason, which is the absence of a football approach, Moyes brought in who plays in a way similar to Ferguson, an English style but less courageous than Ferguson. Then came Van Gaal, who prefers to have the ball. And after him brought in Mourinho, who represents the opposite of everything Van Gaal represents on the field. He played defensive football without a philosophy and was only interested in results and trying to win. Then the club fired him and brought in Solskjaer, who is considered an updated version of English football, with more beautiful counterattacks. Then the club fired him and brought in Ralf Rangnick, who is similar to German football with high pressure, intensity, physical fitness, and possession. And everyone knew that Rangnick was a temporary coach and that he would not continue. And when he decided to leave, the club brought in Erik Ten Hag, who is considered an improved version of Rangnick but prefers to play with more possession and hold the ball and pressure the opponent. But it seems that something happened with this man that made him forget everything he knew when he arrived at United and did not provide 50% of what he provided with Ajax. So he left and United could not move the ball and was unable to defend and able to create an opportunity. He stayed with United for more than 2 years, and it was as if he was not working. He had a good season that gave optimism and then collapsed. And when he won by defending and not by possession. So the philosophy and style were lost. The players lost focus due to the many instructions. So you will not find any player with United who was able to provide 3 consecutive good seasons. Due to the total changes, and now they brought Amorim, they are supposed to be patient with Amorim. And then, if they want to change him, they should bring a coach who is similar to him and not a coach who is completely opposite to him. The absence of a football approach in the clubs has become a disaster. Costly financially and costly in terms of results. For example, Arteta put a philosophy in place at Arsenal, and Klopp was able to plant the culture of his football style in Liverpool. And when Liverpool signed a replacement for him, They brought a coach who is similar to him, but loves possession more like Slot. And the coach who will succeed Guardiola at City must be similar to him in style. And this has become a rule that everyone knows in football. The fourth reason is the Ronaldo incident. If the club wants a legend to leave, it is not logical to turn him into a humiliated and outcast player and force him to speak harshly against it, then terminate his contract and expect this to be normal. This is what affected other players such as Sancho and Rashford. The players got the message. Why are we sacrificing for this club? And why are we fighting for this team? The money that was paid during Ten Hag's time was like it was being burned. Perhaps during Solskjaer's time, the atmosphere was better. The players could have endured more because he made them feel that he wanted to succeed with them, and not that he wanted to succeed by using them. The fifth mistake was surrendering to Manchester City. Pep's Barcelona was one of the strongest teams in history. City with Pep is now very strong, but opponents understand what they are doing and know their weaknesses after many years. Pep's Barcelona had legends on the pitch who were still young: Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, Alves, Piqué, Puyol. They played in a style that no opponent knew how to stop. However, Real Madrid did not surrender. They were losing by big scores, but they didn't surrender. They did not accept the idea of surrender. The message they were sending was that they were resisting. When Perez returned, he brought a new group of stars and brought Mourinho, who had defeated Barcelona, and gave him space to ignite media wars. There was always a scenario that made you feel that Real Madrid was not surrendering, even though in reality most of the results were in Barcelona's favor. You felt that they were fighting and annoying, and that they would continue fighting until they won. And in fact, after years of suffering, Real Madrid managed to turn the tables in their favor after 2016 for a long time. And the situation turned upside down because they fought and tried and did not surrender to the fact that Barcelona suddenly became second level with a group of young legends. While Manchester City, when they play at Old Trafford, expecting them to win the match, is logical. In the last 11 meetings between them at Old Trafford, City won 6 and United won 3. Even in the matches that United won, you will find cases of refereeing controversy in every match, and the problem is that they treat the loss as normal, and they treated City's control and dominance in the league as normal, and surrendered to the idea that City is the ruler of Manchester. And when you surrender to this conflict, your ambition decreases, your giving decreases, your enthusiasm decreases, and even your desire to win decreases. United's problems cannot be summed up with the coach alone, but rather a problem of culture and environment, and administrative decisions that always increase the mistakes of the coaches. The next mission is not Amorim's alone, it is Amorim and Ratcliffe's mission, and changing the structure, culture, and environment of the club, and a mentality that seeks victory and unity of ranks. So what do you think? Will United be able to return? Write your opinion in the comments, and do not forget to press the like button and subscribe to the channel.